Welcome to Changelog, where we explore the latest updates, enhancements, and changes to New Relic itself. In each episode, we dig into the new features and functionalities as told by the people who envisioned, shaped, and even coded them. We discuss the inspiration and the data behind the development, as well as common use cases and applications. I'm Leon Adato, one of the New Relic DevRel advocates, and joining me this week are Kevin Downs, Solution Strategy Director at New Relic. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Leon.
And I say welcome back, even though the first episode you were in is one of our super secret hidden episodes that actually may not have come out by the time this one comes out. But
can't talk about it.
Right? No, it's we're sworn to secrecy. And also the newest addition to the Changelog team, my co-host Michelle Scharlock. Welcome to the Changelog family.
Hello, so glad to be here.
And as I like to tell people, I know that we're more than just talking heads. We have something to talk about, but we do so many more things here. So let's take a minute and just talk about the things that we're working on, both in New Relic and also things that maybe don't have anything to do with tech. And Michelle, as the new co-host, I'm going to kick it to you. Tell us what you do here and what you do elsewhere.
Sure. So I'm on the technical content team here at New Relic, meaning I help people write all their blogs and edit blogs. Technically, my title is I'm the Senior Technical Content Marketing Manager. It's all the words. So in my spare time, I have 9 million hobbies. So I grow house plants, I breed tropical fish, I do a lot of crafts, and I'm in a big gay old choir, so that's always fun. And I always enjoy collecting little novelty toys. So I have this screaming goat, which is pretty amazing. He screams.
I need one of those. I must have one. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So Kevin, do you want to tell us a little bit about your work behind your title and something that you're excited about in the world right now?
Absolutely. So I'm a Solution Strategy Director and also a Product Marketing Manager for our infrastructure and our cloud offerings. I've been doing this with New Relic for quite a while now, and my major role at New Relic is ushering in new launches or major launches, working with our product team, our marketing team, and our field team, as well as partners and customers directly, to make sure that they understand the features and functionality of our products and how they can enhance your company's observability solution. Now, you also asked, on the not work side, I know that you and I were talking not too long ago, and we had a love for camping. And my family just went to Fort Wilderness campgrounds here in Florida, where we spent some time last December. And let me tell you, I'm always amazed when I go there. Once I'm there, I never want to leave. I mean, it's even to the point where I just want to buy a big RV and a big truck and just stay there forever, because we don't camp in a tent. We kind of glamp. We have a company that just rolls in the RV, sets it all up, and we just walk in like it's a hotel. So it's kind of nice, but it always makes me want to get my own so I can do it more often. So I definitely enjoy that on the outside. That's
like the ideal amount of camping. I feel like the ideal amount of preparation. So Fort Wilderness, that's part of the Walt Disney complex, yeah?
Yes, it's Walt Disney World. I just live a couple miles away from Walt Disney World in Florida, and I can see fireworks every night if I want to. It makes it very easy to get on over there anytime we want. Grab a meal. We have actually gone into a park just to get some takeout and taken it back home. So it's not too far away, and it's quite enjoyable. We have Disney kids who basically bleed Disney. One of my kids is as old as Animal Kingdom, so he was there when he was 4 weeks old. So we go to Disney a lot.
That is truly Disney hardcore. I love it. Do you sing along with Chip and Dale?
I will admit that yes, when I had kids there, I sang along. That's all I will admit to. Now I will also say that the campfire and the Disney movies that they play out in the open, I do that as much as we can when we're there, because that's fun. Cooking up some s'mores or hot dogs and watching a Disney flick outdoors is quite enjoyable.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So I would love to discuss camping and amazing Disney things with you more, but let's switch back to the tech world.
If we have to.
And Yeah, I know, right? Discuss New Relic's Microsoft release of Azure native New Relic service.
Okay,
Oh
before
yeah,
we go any further, we have to talk about it. How the hell do we pronounce that word? Is it Azure? Is it Azure? Azure? Like, what are we gonna do here?
well, if you talk to Microsoft folks, they'll say they've heard it both ways. They've heard it all ways, and they don't really seem to care. But there is a correct pronunciation, and it is Azure. So if you go to Google and you type in, how do you pronounce Azure? It's going to say Azure. Now, I'll be honest, I've been pronouncing it or mispronouncing it throughout its whole career up until about 5 days ago when I finally heard a professional voiceover person pronounce it correctly. And I'm like, uh-oh, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. So we asked and we found out that they don't really care, but it is Azure.
We just have to add it to our word bank of things that we might have been mispronouncing, like, caucustocracy or defenestration or
I just said those two words this morning. I was totally off.
Cuyahoga, right? So, okay. Very cool. All right. So with that said, what else? What else is there?
So let's get back. So now that we know how to pronounce it, New Relic and Microsoft have been working together for many, many years. And we've just recently worked together with the Microsoft Azure team to create a native New Relic service. Now it's pretty cool. So let me tell you a couple of things about it. It's built on Azure. See, I just said it wrong. Azure. It's built on Azure. And this is something that we've been wanting to do for a while now, and working with the team allowed us to do it, which means we are using Azure services for New Relic. So we built a cell-based architecture, getting a little in the weeds here, but we created a cell-based architecture so we can scale with the professional Azure services as needed for our customers. So it's pretty brand new, and we're very excited to share it with the world.
Okay. So I get it, but I have to ask, perhaps on behalf of the folks watching, why should anybody except us care about New Relic built on Azure? Like, why is it different from where we have it now, which I'm told is in a secret bunker next to Roald Amundsen's sled in the South Pole?
You heard correctly, but we're not really supposed to even give that information out. So
okay.
Not confirm or deny.
Some of the main benefits, in fact, there's two main benefits for it, and it's really for our customers. They've been asking us to do this for a while because, quite frankly, they would like New Relic to store their telemetry data, the telemetry data that they send to us, in Azure. Now, they have some business reasons for it, some competitions, if you will. We're not going to go into the specific details, but there are competitive reasons why a company would rather pay New Relic and that money goes back into us using Azure than maybe a competitor. And it's pretty important to them, and they've been asking us for a while. So that's number one. Because we're built on Azure, you store the telemetry data in Azure. The other one is lots of companies have commitments or contracts where they have to spend a specific amount of money over a course of a year. And the cool thing about this is you can use 100% of your New Relic costs to lower or retire your commitment spend with Microsoft. So it's kind of a win-win for our customers. They get to store their data in Azure and they get to lower their commitments with Microsoft.
That's awesome. I mean, anything you can do to reduce that cloud spending, I feel like people are like, yes. So let's talk a little bit about why customers should appreciate New Relic's new Azure services versus just signing up with New Relic directly. Because you could do that too.
You absolutely can. In fact, there's a couple of places you can do it. In order to store your telemetry data in Azure, and in order to retire it's called MACC, Microsoft Azure Commitment Contract. I may have that wrong, but it's called MACC. So we're going to call it MACC for short. In order to do those two things, you must subscribe to the New Relic service through the marketplace. Now, some really cool benefits about that. When you do that, you're going to create a brand new Relic account within the Azure portal. So it's something that makes that integration, makes that the connection between Azure or Microsoft and New Relic in the background, and you haven't even gone to New Relic yet. You've done everything within the portal. So it makes it quite easy to get started right away. Now I want to do a little pause here. Might be a little off script, but this is a self-service pay-as-you-go offering. and it's pretty easy to do and pretty easy to get started. If you're a current New Relic customer, talk to your account team about what the future holds for you if you are interested in starting up in Azure with New Relic. So definitely those are the people to talk to, because they have all the information on how you'll get going with Azure.
All right. Well, that sounds amazing. I hear you have a little bit of a demo for us. I'm super excited for that. So I will switch us on over to that amazing demo.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. So some of the things I haven't really talked about are some of the other benefits that you can do within the portal that make this service kind of unique for all the different ways you can use and connect to New Relic. So as you can tell, I'm in the Azure portal right here, and it's fairly standard. There's nothing really special going on. What I want to do is show everyone how to find us and how to subscribe. I'm going to walk through a couple steps. I'm not going to go all the way because I already have, and I don't need to make a new connection. I'm just going to search for New Relic. And once you find it here, the Azure native New Relic service, go ahead and click it. And this is where you can subscribe. You can read about the plans and the offering. You can rate us if you will, what the usage is and support. All that information is right here available for you. But I'm going to walk through just a couple of steps. I'm going to subscribe to it. And you're going to want to create a New Relic resource. This will be an Azure resource, or you can link to an existing New Relic account if you need to. But we're going to create a new one today. And you just walk through some of these steps. So I'm going to create a new a new resource group. I'm going to give it a name. Let's just call it, I think no spaces. Let's do that. New Relic, let's call it 02. Okay, because I know I already have one. So I'm going to create a new one. And you can see what it costs. It's free. And this is a free tier account. So when you do subscribe through the service, through the portal, you are actually creating a brand new free account with New Relic. And there are free account limits. You can read up on those. But as long as you don't go over those limits, you won't be charged anything from the New Relic site. And I can go over here to metrics and logs, and I can enable my metric collection if I want to do anything special, send subscription activity logs to myself, to New Relic. And then you can put a tag on it if you want, give it a name. Yeah, let's just call it New Relic. And then you can go to review and create it. So it's very simple to do. So I'm going to stop there. Looks like I might have missed something back here in basic, but just walk through it. Make sure you fill in all the fields. I'm going to cancel this because I don't really want to create another one. I already have one. And
more to the point, your cost center at the company doesn't want you to create another one. But okay.
Exactly. Absolutely. I've already charged enough. But let's go to it as if I had just finished creating it. And it's in the resources. And here you go. So I created a New Relic resource 1. As you can tell. And this is all the information about my resource. I can even log into New Relic right from over here in the portal. Now, a quick note, your first time logging in, when you get moved over to the New Relic console, you're not going to have a password. So you need to go through the forget password. You'll get sent a new password and to be all set. And the email address that you will use is the email address you signed up with Azure. But now that I have this resource, now that I've created the connection and it's established an integration between New Relic and Azure, there are a couple really cool onboarding features. Apart from the fact that I just created a brand new account with New Relic, there are things like virtual machines that I want to deploy agents to. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see that I'm in the virtual machine section, and I have 3 virtual machines, of which I've already installed 1 agent on. I'm just going to select these other 2. And yes, you can do multiple. You can do as many agents or many VMs as you want to install it on. Then I'm going to click Install Extension. I'm going to get this going because it's going to take about a minute. In fact, just a little bit less than a minute. And I'll let that pop down, and then I'll open this up so we can watch it go. So what's happening right now is it is taking the New Relic agent, and it is installing it on this VM. And quite literally, it doesn't take more than 60 seconds. I've timed it. I've gotten up to 56, 53. It's pretty quick, the fact that it does it. So hopefully this will go just as fast as my testing. We all know how demos go.
Right.
Right, Leon?
The fact
right,
is
Michelle?
that the infrastructure agent it doesn't take that much time on bare metal or your laptop or anything like that. So it doesn't take, significantly longer here than it would there.
Exactly.
No, and also the setup of creating a New Relic account and doing this whole the integration is so much more seamless than it has been in the past. I really think this is just a great great integration. I mean, you're basically going to the marketplace, clicking a button, filling out some configurations, and like you're ready to go. This thing installs. Like, yeah, I think it's great.
Absolutely.
As an Azure user myself.
It didn't take long at all. And you're right. I haven't gone to the New Relic platform yet. I'm still in the Azure portal. I'm going to do a quick refresh here because I like to see what agents were installed. Eventually, it will tell me the agent version over here. So I'll know what that is and do one more refresh in case it pops in. And there we go. Okay, so no agent versions, but those will pop in as soon as the information is presented back to Azure. So now I have 3 VMs and they all have agents on them and we're all set. Let's move over to something else. Let's move over to app services. So if you have a .NET or Java application that you've created inside Azure, you can install our APM language agent on it right from here. And you can see I have 2. I have a 04 and a 03. I created these a little earlier. So the 04 application, I did install the agent on, and you can see that the .NET agent has been installed. Let's go ahead and install the other one. And here is the .NET versus Java. So we'll get that going, and we'll let that pop over. And in the same vein that we did the infrastructure agent, we're now doing the same thing for a .NET, or if you wanted a Java agent, a Java language application. It makes it very convenient to rapidly onboard with Azure. So not only have we started a brand new account within New Relic and established the integration, but we've also installed infrastructure agents on any VMs we wanted to. And now we're going to finish up with installing a APM language agent, a .NET language agent in this case. And this one takes a little bit longer, about a minute and a half is what I've timed it at. But you can imagine if you had a whole bunch of applications, if you selected all your .NET and installed them all at once, and then you took your Java ones and installed those, you can imagine how rapidly you can get observability with New Relic going through just the Azure portal. I haven't even left yet. We're going to get going over to New Relic soon, but we want to finish up over here and see how it goes. While this is happening, you can imagine that my application really hasn't had any traffic. No one's breaking down its door. So I have the other one, the 04 over here. I'm just going to refresh this right now. Get that time to sync up here. Okay, takes a little bit. I don't have it on the best, most powerful Azure infrastructure back there. So let's get this going. And I'm just going to visit the Azure Marketplace. I just made a button. And you could find us in the marketplace, but I just made a button on that website. So I'm generating some traffic, just making it nice and simple. Let's do it one more time now that my time's up. There we go. Just generating some traffic. Let's go back over to the portal and see if it's finished yet. There we go. We just finished just right there. And it stopped. It's going to start that application again. Let me refresh it. There we go. Now we have the .NET application agent installed on both these applications.
Very cool. I think it's hysterical. We're talking about, well, it's less than a minute. It's a minute and a half. I remember taking a day and a half to install agents on systems using a different thing. Like, are you joking? It had to install a new version of Perl, and you had to, compile things from binaries, and make config, and where it's like, well, it takes about a minute. Really, that long?
You know what, Liam? We used to call that sneakernet. And we were very good at sneaker netting, where we had to walk a disk around everywhere. We can go on for days about that. So yes, this is so much simpler than it is. In fact, with the exception of automation, there is no other place that you can install multiple agents or multiple infrastructure agents or language agents in anywhere else in New Relic. You'd have to do it with an automation script.
Right.
So this is quite an improvement over the other ways to install. Now that I've done that, there's one more thing I want to show off. It's the monitored resources. And it basically gives you a nice list of all the things you're monitoring. And you can see the logs that I'm sending over to New Relic and the metrics and how they're configured. You can edit the tags. So there's a lot of information here that you can find out what's being sent over there. But let's get to it now. Now that we've actually done all the onboarding, we've deployed all the agents, let's move over to New Relic. Let's go back to our resource and let's log in from the link right here. So it's going to open up New Relic. And since I have already logged in the back and I've been there before, it's going to pop right in. And you can see my home screen here. Shows me all entities. And you can see that my .NET, that was my 04 application that I generated some traffic, is showing up in here, as well as the 3 VMs I have. And they're all showing up here. Let's go a little deeper. Let's view all 3 of those VMs. Okay, we still get some good telemetry over here. We can see the activity stream and what's going on. Let's select all 3 and do a little bit of comparison. So now we can see, I don't have a lot going on, but I do have some metrics in here, and it's letting me know the comparison between the VMs that I selected. What I really care about is, let's look at some system metrics where we can look at some average disk load or memory, as well as some of the other CPU metrics down below. And you can also get network metrics within the infrastructure UI. Let's go over to storage. You can get some storage statistics about what's going on and make sure you have free disk space. So these are places where you can start creating alerts to start triaging problems that you have. I don't have any containers. Let's go to logs. So here's another cool thing about the integration is it's already sending logs. And this is logs from all 3 of those VMs in Azure, sending all the logs right to me. And if I wanted to, see if I have any errors, I can quickly look up for any errors, and I have 1 error right there. So it makes it very simple to triage and debug what your infrastructure hosts are doing. It's a great way to do fast troubleshooting. Let's switch gears. How about we go back to all entities, and let's jump into my APM application. So I have a little bit of data over here. So some of the clicks I did, you can see that. A couple other things I might want to do. I might want to go to the transactions, look at my transaction times, pop in here, and just take a look at, let's see, do I have any traces? Let's look at my traces. And there might be a couple in here. And you can easily go in and just start looking at all the traces that you have and see how they're configured. Makes it very easy to start diagnosing what happened within my application. Now, my application is very small. I have a lot of data, but as you can see within New Relic, all that telemetry data, remember, it's being stored in Azure, can be viewed within the New Relic portal.
Right, and something to emphasize, which is tied to this, but it's also independent of it, is when folks are thinking, well, new monitoring observability platform, I'm going to have to spend days and days and days configuring it. Let's just be very clear. This entire environment didn't exist until a few minutes ago, all right? And you're already collecting traces. You're already collecting logs and identifying errors. Like when we talk about the simplicity of the platform, when we talk about how easy it is to get started with really comprehensive monitoring, 4 clicks basically, and you're collecting metrics, events, logs, traces. You're getting it all with no additional tweaking that you had to do. So I wanted to emphasize that among all the other things.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's
and
right.
plus, I'm a super visual person, so I love that you can also, you can read all the details and you can click into all the details, but there's also just you can just look at it. Is it red? Is it green?
Exactly.
Makes it
And
really
from
easy.
here, New Relic customers, of course, are going to take all this telemetry data, triage it, investigate it, troubleshoot their infrastructure, diagnose and fix errors in their applications, create dashboards and put all these things together. Because when you have applications based on Azure, it makes it very simple to monitor the whole package. Full stack observability is what we're really going for. I know I'm just monitoring an application and a couple of VMs, but when we really have a real world situation, we're going to put all that together, create some dashboards, and really give us something to look at to help our observability.
So thanks, Kevin, for that amazing demo. I think that really walked us through it and gave us all the details that we kind of need to know at a high level. Obviously, there's docs on this if people want to dive in more. We also have a blog post. Have to always shout that out as the person who writes the blogs. But yeah, so as you already know, since you've been on the program before, we have an amazing lightning round that is just a series of rapid fire questions. So if you're ready, I'll let Leon start with the first rapid question.
Okay, well, I want to add a couple of initial thoughts, just some final ideas. First of all, glamping is 100% a thing that my wife is going to ask me about now. We're going to have to go do that. And I also love the fact that now we have to remind people to go to the Azure Marketplace and like and subscribe, like the kids tell you.
Absolutely.
Just every time. The other thought that I wanted to share before we dive into the rapid fire is that SaaS architecture is always positioned as something where the user can be, doesn't have to worry about what's happening behind the scenes. It's invisible. And yet this is also making the point that we still, as consumers of SaaS, should be curious about it, because sometimes it has financial impact. Like you said, we can apply the New Relic spend against our Azure commitment. And the last point I want to make is that, Kevin, you are currently 6-2 for Azure versus Azure. So not that anyone's keeping track.
Wait,
but
was it 6 the right way or
No.
6 the wrong way?
No, it was 6 for Azure and 2 for Azure. You're getting there though. You're moving the needle. We're not looking for perfection, only progress. So with those things said, with the rapid fire, let's start off with, is Azure native New Relic service, that whole word, is it available worldwide or only in specific regions?
That's a great question. So it is available worldwide. Wherever New Relic legally does business, anyone, anywhere can subscribe to it, start collecting their telemetry data from Azure.
Okay.
Sweet. So, all right, next rapid question. Is the account that the service creates a free New Relic account?
Yes, it is a free account, and there are free tier limits. I think it's 100 gigs, 1 user. So all the things that our free tier limit has, this is what the account is created with. As long as you don't breach those free tier limits, you won't be charged. But obviously, there's a lot of functionality and capabilities and benefits for you. So we're going to hope that you see the value in New Relic and use it for all your observability needs.
Right. Yeah, just like sign up, try it out,
Exactly. We hope that, because also my kid's orthodontist needs to get paid. So, there's always that. Okay. You say that the telemetry data is stored in Azure, which, of course, but if it's not in the region that's at the South Pole, like what region is it actually in?
Okay, so without giving too many secrets, it's in the US East region within Azure. So that's where it's located. If wherever data residency is important to you, it is located in the US East region. So talk to your account rep. We don't have any plans at this point for rolling out to other regions. We are looking into it and seeing how we do, but it is in the US East region right now.
Cool.
So can the Azure native New Relic service, again, all the words, can it monitor my on-prem applications and infrastructure?
That's a good question. So as much as we like to talk about we're in Azure, we're in the Azure portal, this is New Relic Normal. So New Relic Normal means you can monitor any application, any website, any host, infrastructure, instance that you want to monitor that has network connectivity back to New Relic. In this case, it's New Relic built on Azure. But yeah, so you can monitor on-prem, you can monitor hybrid on-prem and cloud, you can monitor any cloud you have instances in that you want to deploy agents to. So absolutely, it's not just monitoring for Azure things. You can monitor all the things that New Relic typically monitors already.
Nice. Cool. Monitor all the things. That should be our
all the things.
Right? Does anybody have any closing thoughts or anything else you want to share before we kind of wrap up here?
No, I'm good. This is amazing though.
Yeah, this is a brand new service, and we're very happy to satisfy our customers' wants, to allow them to get the data where they really want that data stored. And if they have any commitments with Microsoft, get those retired, because you can use 100% of your New Relic spend to do that.
Yeah, love it. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I know there's an overwhelming amount of content that's out there on all the streaming services, all the YouTube and all that. We want to just thank you for taking the time to watch this today and spending some of your precious time. So if you've enjoyed the program today, just make sure that you hit that like and subscribe. Make sure that you are here for the next one. All right. Thanks, guys.